Okay, part two of Lathe Bore project at STC. Where we left off, we turned the OD, the ID, center drill, and we did a pilot drill. So now we need a 531 drill. So if we look at our decimal equivalent chart over here, I'm looking for 531. And right here I have 1730 seconds, 531.2. So our typical drill box here, this is letters, numbers, and fractions, and the biggest drill is this one, 1/2 inch. And the drill chuck we have is 1/2 inch. We're limited to 1/2 inch, but we got a couple options. One would be in our large drill drawer here, large drills. Like these are taper shank drills. I believe it's the same Morse taper that we have there. This is a bigger one. These are straight shank drills that are bigger than 1/2 inch. We have another one here. This is a 1 inch with a 3 Morse taper. That one there. But typically we use what we call silver and Deming drills. They're drills that have 1/2 inch shank and a bigger head on them. So we have them all the way from just beyond 1/2 inch on up. So this one is 3/4. This one's 2730 seconds. This one is 1730 seconds. I think that's what we were looking for. That drill looks to be in pretty good shape. So we go to the trusty Starrett chart here. Yeah, 1730 seconds, okay. All right, so I want to measure that with my caliper, which I seem to lose. All right. Use my shop caliper here. Measure this one and it comes out to be 531. That's correct. Okay. Oh, wrong machine. Ah, there it is. I had the wrong machine. They start all looking the same. All right. Some of these have flats on them and some are not. So if they have the flats, you want to get them aligned with the 3 jaws if you can. It'll give it more grip power. Now on this machine, if you need it extra tighten, you have a little wrench here if you need that extra tighten. Alright, so I'm going to bring this in position again. I'm going to reduce the RPM. I'm going to go down to 610. That's as low as I can go in high gear. Okay, so the same thing applies, but actually I should be able to feel my way to the bottom of the other hole. But I think I'll still keep track. So I have this dial set. It's locked down here, but 0 with the handle on the bottom seems to work pretty good. Gonna lube this up. And now I'm going to lock tailstock down and drill in there. So that's about 1 revolution, but it's not full diameter, so right around there. That's 1 revolution in. A little noisy. But probably this is a good time to see if it's actually cutting well or not. And surface finish looks pretty good. And let me see if it's cutting a good diameter. Get my regular calipers out. Measure this way. so that it faces me, and I'm getting 536. So my maximum would be 531. So this is actually, well, let me re-zero this. Yeah, I get 536. I'll double check if I have this chucked in here properly. Alright. Pull this up. Pick up my anti-spill cup, which worked just fine. You don't fill these up all the way, just halfway. We'll bring this up a little bit closer, lock it down, go back in again. I'm just going to pull this out of the hole. Alright. I'm going to try a little bit slower. It's a little squealy. I'm going to go low gear and 260. All right. Put this up close again. I'll put it at the full diameter. Now I can count turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there, it's 5. All right, 5. And a drill. Now, if I didn't pilot drill, this would be a lot tougher to drill. Nice chip breaking. Pull this out again. Alright, put the lube there. Alright, this is my 0 point. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 9. That'd be 10. Go 11. I'll go one more to 12. Crank it back out again. Lube on the tip. That's my start point. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right there. 12, 13. 14. Right there, I'm hitting the bottom of the pilot drill. Okay. I'm going to consider that done. I'm going to have to trust that I was able to re-chuck this good. So I got big brush for big chip removal and small for just getting these little ones out of the way. You always want to continue to clean while you're here. Biggest problem on all these manual machines is, especially the lathe, is leaving a mess. End up with a pile there. Alright, I don't need this drill anymore. I'm going to put this back. Now I'm going to go with boring bars. So boring bars. We have a selection of some boring bars here. This one has a carbide insert, replaceable one. And these are a set we bought also to use on a boring head, but we use them both ways. We actually machined a flat on here because you want to get the orientation correct. And this has actually stuck aluminum on here. I'm not using lube, so the way you get that off is just use a stone and don't go over the edge. You're going to lose the sharpness. Alright, well, we may have to regrind this. Alright, we're not using this one. So you try to use the stubbiest, biggest one you can. You cannot start a hole with a boring bar. So this would not, obviously wouldn't work. So just like long parts, long boring bars will bend. But so you always try to use the shortest one that you can. So I believe the last one we used this one, and this was adequate to get inside. Alright, so from this point of view, I'll just take this and see if I can get inside. So when you're boring, you're machining from the inside surface, you're going in this direction. And so you're flying blind, typically. So you got to go by the numbers. And still the same direction. This has to be straight, so I have the tool post straight so that it's not crooked. And you got to always be aware of the other side. Alright, so I'm going to set this in here. So this has enough depth we can get there. So I think this will work fine. And the same thing, I'm going to do the height measurement. So this orientation this way is good. And I'm going to just set this tool, and I'm just going to pinch the other side. So I'm going to pinch it this way. That's a quick height check. That looks good. Alright. I'm going to go back into high gear and 610 RPM we'll start with. Alright, so I want to base my depth off the front. I want this to be locked down. I don't want that to hinder my adjustment. I'm going to just touch the front of that. I'm going to call this Z0. I'm going to hit enter, set 0. And I'm going to go inside and go inside a little bit, and I'm going to butt this up against the inside just a little bit so I can't move it. Very lightly right there. So I'm touching the inside. I could do 0. Let's do 0. So that would be X0. So I got Z0 is front. Right, X0 is touching. Alright. Now I'm going to be machining inside, so I'm going to do this show you from the outside. So I got to go in 725 deep. So you don't want to do this whole depth right now. So we're going to go short. We're going to go 700 deep. But we're going to finish the bore. And then we're going to have to come back in and kiss the wall. So let's look at it from this orientation right here. So the hole is through. We're going to bore this to 750. And then we're going to go back in and kiss the wall, and we have to intersect. So in this one, I'm actually going to use this to help me. So 725 deep, that would be right around here. We'll put it at 700. So I'm going to move this over. See if I can find my wrench over here. Should be a 10mm wrench here somewhere. Just reorganized. There it is. 10mm wrench. Use the stopper again. I'm going to butt up against this right there. Tighten that up. Remember, this is not going to stop a power feed, and we're not going to power feed the inside. It's very short. All right, so I'm going to just test this out. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to go back to the inside. I keep my lube cup handy. Keep my tools from falling in. Power up. And I'm going to go back.